Alrighty, we are officially recording. I'm here with Andrew. Andrew is with One Eye Guy Real Estate.
That's right.
OEG,
Yo,
man.
one-eyed guy.
Man, Andrew, tell us about yourself. Tell us about your business and everything, man. Just to get so for us to get acquainted with you.
Okay. So let's see. I mean, I got a long backstory. But basically, I've been around the real estate industry for about 13 years here in Austin, Texas. I
Mhm.
started off in property management, work at maintenance. I went from that to starting my own construction company. Then I did a few flips for a few investors, and I started kind of learning more about the investment game. That's when I realized that finding the deals was like the number one most important thing in real estate. So I was trying to figure out, okay, like how can I learn how to find deals? And I took seminars, I watched stuff online, talked to the investors, and the thing that I learned is that like one of the gateways to get into it is in the wholesaling. So then I started doing a lot more research and that kind of thing. And yeah, I just started wholesaling about 3 years ago. So I got lucky and I moved in with a guy who was a wholesaler already. It was kind of like a perfect, like it's a whole like funny story. But so I used to live with this one guy like years ago, and he owned a duplex, and he
Mhm.
typically had like extra, like the other side, he would let me rent out for super cheap. And I was working with this property management company, and anyway, I was living on site at the property management company. Then I was leaving, and I had to like get out in a hurry. And I was like, dude, can I move into your duplex? And he had just told me 2 weeks before that, like, yeah, man, anytime you ever want to move back in, like you're a great like tenant, whatever, like anytime you want. Called him up. He was like,
Gotcha.
dude, I can't believe it. I literally just leased it yesterday. But I got a friend who's looking for a roommate, and he's also in real estate. Talk to him. So I
Mhm.
moved in with that guy. He was a wholesaler, and he kind of just laid the groundwork for me, taught me scripts, taught me how to call, taught me that kind of thing. And then
Nice.
after a few months of working with him, I reached out to a company in the area, and I got a job with a company. They're called Denali Real Estate. Not that that matters, but I started working with them, and so for like uh, last 2.5 years, I worked with them and closed over 10 deals with them. One of the deals actually was pretty huge. It was a $260,000 margin. And
Oof.
so I got, I get a small percentage of the commission of that, but it still felt good to be a part of a deal that was that big. So I got a lot of good experience working with them. But, at the end of the day, like I said, I closed lots of deals with them and pretty decent sized margin deals, and wasn't really getting a whole lot of the commission
Mhm.
check. A lot of it was going to the house. And so I said, man, I'm basically doing all this stuff anyway. From the beginning, I was finding my own leads. I was working the leads. I was contracting the deals. I was working with title. I was finding buyers. And then I was getting all the way through closing. And I was like, I'm already doing everything. I might as well do it on my own. Went off on my
100%.
own. I had a couple different lead sources that I was working at the time, right when I started off on my own, building the foundation, and they were way too expensive and the leads weren't very good. And they also were not exclusive leads either. So they would send me a lead and they'd send it to four other people. So I
What?
mean, yeah. So I mean, it helped me to get like quick about making calls, because if I don't call this person in literally 10 seconds, they're already going to be on the phone with somebody else. So
Oh
it
my
like it helped
goodness.
me to get faster about making calls, because I was like, if I don't do it, they're already going to be talking to somebody else, and I'll never talk to these people again. But at the same time, every time I was going out there, especially if I was competing with a realtor or another investor who they're going to buy it for more than I am anyway. Like that's all day long. So it's kind of hard to beat it when other people are just like throwing crazy money at people, especially in this market. So I had some issues with them, and then even when I closed a few deals with them, they were asking for so much money for like as a percentage of the deal that I closed. They actually were asking for more than the margin on one of the deals. Like
Wow.
it was going to be a $10,000 margin, and the lead source was trying to charge me 12,500.
Whoa.
And I'm like, look, I'm not going to pay you to do this. And it was a crazy deal, and it was a lot of issues that went into it. And I'm like, look, how am I going to, like, I'm losing money if I pay you that much. So after dealing with them, and I had a few people that I had doing some cold calling for me, and I tried a lot of different routes. I mean, I do plenty of cold calling still myself.
Mhm.
And it just, a lot of things just weren't panning out with regard to that. I said, man, I need to find like a solid marketing company that can take it and it can just bring me good leads on a regular basis, and I can trust that they're going to come in, they're going to be qualified, they're going to be good leads. And I mean, I did a lot of looking online, and of course, like I looked at Instagram ads, like I get blown up with them still, like, all the time, like, hey, are you a real estate investor? And want more leads? So I like click on all those things. I'm always reading them. I'm constantly doing the research on like how the companies work and reading reviews and that kind of stuff. And I decided when I saw the Hesel Media, I think it was called like Rocket Leads or something on the Instagram post. When I saw that, I was like, hey, let me check this out. I had a call with the guy, I believe his name was Steven. It went really
Steven, yes.
well. And like I just got the sense of, like, after watching the videos and talking to him and watching some of the reviews, like that you guys were the real deal. And I like the organization, not just like your company, but like the way that you had things ordered, the way that you had your CRM set up, the way that you created all the systems, and the fact that you even actually have training. So it's almost like, man, if you're not good enough, like, we're going to train you, because we want you to close these leads so badly that we're going to teach you how to be good at it. And so when I knew that you had that kind of like backing and desire, and having people close the leads that you brought in, that you must be pretty legit. So I actually, to tell the full truth, my bank account was getting pretty low, and I was worried about like how I was going to do it. And I knew you guys were the right fit. And
Mhm.
I did some praying about it. I talked to my parents about it. I talked to lots of people. I even looked at all kinds of different loan sources. Like, how am I going to like be able to afford paying? I know there's going to be return on this company, because I believe that what they're saying, they're going to bring me good leads. But how am I going to be able to afford it until I get that first deal closed? And so, I mean, it was a straight up, honestly, God thing. I got a email one day that was like, hey, you got like a really good credit score. Feel free to, see if you can apply for one of these credit cards. And I was like, okay, whatever. The credit card came in, and I didn't even ask for this. I was expecting like maybe a $1,000, $2,000 limit, and it came in at like $15,000
Whoa.
credit limit. And I didn't even ask for it. I was just like, okay. And kept looking at all these different loan sources, and finally I was like, you know what? The credit card is 0% APR for 16 months or whatever it is. Like, why don't I just put this on a credit card? I know that I know how to do this, and I know these people are going to bring me good leads. It's worth rolling the dice.
Wow,
So
man.
went ahead, gave Steven a call back. Again, he was awesome. Got me all set up. We got rolling, started filling out all the documents, did all the stuff like that. And I remember that, I knew that it was going to take a little while for the like setup process, and that's part of it. And it just takes a little bit of
Yep.
time, because I mean, even when I was setting my own business, like I had to create a website, I had to get a new email. Like, I know that there's a lot of foundational stuff that you have to put together for automation or whatever, and it just takes a little bit of time. So I wasn't surprised. I had the expectation that was going to be the case. So we
Yes,
worked through
sir.
all that kind of stuff, and I remember literally it was like a Friday, I think. It was either Thursday or Friday. And I remember you sent me a text message or a Slack message, and you
Yeah.
said, hey, just to let you, and this was at 2 p.m. I remember very clearly. It was like at 2 p.m. And you were like, hey, just to let you know, you might start getting leads because we just went live with your advertising. And I
Yes,
said,
sir.
cool. And
Here we
honestly,
go.
in my head, I thought, you know what? I'll probably get it like a lead or two, maybe next week. And then, they'll start kind of trickling in a little bit after that. But I wasn't expecting to see anything for at least another week, because I thought it was just
Oh,
going to take a little
wow.
bit of time.
Wow.
Dude, and get this, by 4 p.m., 2 hours later, 2 hours, 2 hours after you sent me that message, I got my first lead in. And of course, I was super pumped about it. And I was even kind of caught off guard, like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Oh, and I was like, oh, I got to call him. I got to call him. And like, oh, I forgot the script. What do I do? Because I've been working so long at finding marketing, I hadn't been doing as many calls, and I was like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? And so I like scrambled and was like, no, I got to make this call right away. So I literally got on it, because I know you guys talk about like speed lead and all that kind of stuff. And
Yes,
I'd already
sir.
luckily had a little bit of practice, because I was having competition with the other lead source that I was using.
Yes,
So
sir.
I called. It had to have been within a minute or 2 minutes of the lead coming in. Got a hold of the lady. She was super sweet, easy to talk with, and we had a great conversation. I mean, looking back, I'm like, oh, I missed a couple things. I should have said this, should have done that, but I do that
Yep.
after every call or appointment. And so I wasn't like I was perfect by any means. Luckily, I've had a lot of practice and experience, but I definitely was like, oh man, I don't know how that went. And so, but still, it still went good enough, because then she set up a time for an appointment for me to see it the following Tuesday. And she'd actually already set up an appointment through the CRM. That was part of it too. Is like, I called her
Mhm.
right away and said, hey, just to verify that you wanted to have the appointment set for Tuesday, right? And she said, yeah, yeah, yeah. And she said, but I didn't know if it was going to be a phone call or if you were going to be coming by the house on Tuesday. I said, well, you know what? I got time right now. Why don't we have the phone call now? And if it still works, I'll come by on Tuesday. And she's like, okay,
Nice.
great. Yeah, let's do that. So then we
Nice.
had a phone call. Like I said, it was great. And then I went on Tuesday and had a really good walk. And I think what helped too was out like watching the training videos. Like I said, I mean, I've been doing it for, over 2 years, been around the game for a while. So I mean,
Hmm.
I'm somewhat experienced, but watching some of those training videos, there's just little nuggets that I was like, I need to add that. I need to do that. And so one of the things that I did was I printed out like the tax assessment, and I
Hmm.
looked at a bunch of comps in the area, and then I printed out like the lowest comp. You know what I mean? And it was because it's a lot. It's actually this house behind me in
Yeah.
this like
Yep.
in the video. It's
Nice.
that's the one that we're talking about. It was a
Nice.
probate deal, and it was basically just a tear down. It's just for the lot. So I was using lot comps in the area that were like way less than she was originally asking 400. And
Okay.
I was like, we'll see. And so I went over there and I used that because she was like, I said, hey, paint a picture of exactly like how you want this to go. And she told me, and then she's like, yeah, and I'd like to get, and then she explained the whole probate thing about how she had like, two brothers, two siblings that she was working on with, but she was in charge and I had to find all that kind of stuff out. She told me the whole story about their family and all that. So I was like, okay. And then she said, and I want 400,000. And I was like, well, you know what? I'd love to give you $1 million. You know what? I'd love to give you $1 million, but here, let me show you just what the market says and the data I'm looking at. And I said, look, maybe I can get somewhere close to that, but who knows? Let me just show you what the market is. And I handed her the printouts and I was like, here's
Hmm.
your tax assessment. And here's this comp in the area that's a cleared lot. I was like, I got to tear your house down. That costs more money. And this house is listed for less. Anyway, so she was like, oh, okay. And I could see that, like, I feel like that was a major thing that helped the situation. And then
Okay.
later, one of the best things that I took away from the videos too was getting those pre-commitments. So I
Yes,
said,
sir.
okay,
Hmm.
here's the deal. I've already seen the house. I'm taking the pictures. I'm going to go back and talk to my partners. Typically within 24 to 48 hours, we can come up with a really good, customized, fair and reasonable offer. So if, with that said, when I give you a call, hypothetically on Friday or whatever the next like time, I think it was, like I said, we met on Tuesday. I said, maybe by Thursday, um, will you be able to give me a definitive yes or no answer when I bring you that offer? And she said, yes. I said, okay, great. So then I called her up on Thursday and I said, hey, before I give you this offer, are you going to be able to give me a yes or no answer when I bring you the offer? And she said, actually, I have another investor that's coming by to take a look at it tomorrow.
Yep.
And I was
Yep.
like, dang. I was like, there it goes. There's the deal. It's over. They're going to come in and offer more. I'm going to lose the deal. That's it. Oh, well. And I was like, and before I could even get it out of my mouth, because I was going to be like, well, how about you just, let them come by. I want to make sure you keep your word. You're woman of your word. Let's keep your word. You go by, talk with them, see how it goes with them, and then I'll give you a call afterwards. Like, that was what I was going to say before I could even get that out of my mouth. She's like, how about this? She's going to come walk it tomorrow, and then she's probably going to give me an offer on Monday. After she brings me her offer, I'll just call you back and let you know how it went. And I was like,
Wow.
yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. That sounds good. Let's do that. And so sure enough, Monday she called me back and she said, yeah, the lady came by or this and that. And I could tell she was kind of like complaining about her. Like, she's like, she was kind of flaky and I don't know, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, this sounds good. And then I reiterated, so if I give you this offer today, you're ready to tell me yes or no. And she said, I'm 100% ready to tell you yes or no. I said, okay, great.
Wow.
And I said, here's the deal. And so this was my underwriting. I saw literally directly across the street, there was two lots that were tear downs that had gotten knocked down, and people had built 7 condos on the 2 lots combined. So 3 on one and 4 on the other. So I knew that there
Wow.
was a lot of potential. And based on what I saw in the market, I was pretty sure I could sell it for 325.
Okay.
So I came back to her and I said, I know that what I showed you was like around 250, but I think we can do better. I've worked with my partners. I really, tried to do the best I could to get you the best offer I could. And we can come in and we can close in a couple of weeks, blah, blah, blah. And we can close at 305. And she said, yep, let's do it. And I was like, okay. So sent over contracts, not to go through all the minutia, but we sent in contracts, got it locked up. I did all my marketing, talked to a bunch of buyers, and I talked to the people across the street specifically that had just knocked down the house and built 7 condos, called
Mm-hmm.
the realtor up that had done that transaction, because I didn't find the purchase and sale, but I found the lease. Like they leased it on the MLS. So I
Okay.
talked to that guy and he said, yeah, we're super hungry for deals. Like bring whatever you got. I was like, dude, I got one that's directly across the street from the ones you just built. He was like, yeah. So they were super excited, but he was worried about the probate thing. And I said, look, man, the lady swears to me that she's the executor, everything's gone through. And he was like, well, I don't want to sign anything with my buyers until I know for sure. And I was like, okay. So I worked with title and I was like, hey, can you guys expedite this, please? Because I've done a lot of deals with them and they're like real good to me. And I was like, can y'all please expedite this? Like, okay. So they did it as fast as they could. Title came back clear. I believe it was like on a Monday,
Mm-hmm.
following all the stuff. And I called the dude up, said, hey, guess what? Title's clear. We're good to go. And he said, awesome, my buyers are ready. So let's
Wow.
write it up. So what we did was we actually ended up writing up the contract for 335 and added his 3% commission into it because he's a realtor and he wanted to get paid. So I was like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna have to add that on top.
Mm-hmm.
So then, yeah, we wrote up the contract. And then we also agreed, because originally I was going to pay for a survey and I knew that was going to take weeks and it was going to be a big hassle. So they
Mm-hmm.
conceded to get rid of the survey and not have to have one. And and my concession for that was I'll pay half of the closing cost with the realtor. So he and I split the closing costs and we waived the survey and they closed in 48 hours. So we figured all that out on like a
Wow.
Wednesday and like I said, I found out on Monday the title was clear. The buyers came by to take a double look at the house on a Tuesday. They sent the contract over, sent earnest money on Wednesday, and we closed on Friday. And that was like this past Friday. And
Wow.
after splitting the closing costs and paying the commission, I ended up walking away with a little over 18,000.
Wow. Wow. Man, that's
Now I
and
can
the
pay
crazy
that credit card off
I was gonna say that. So you tell me that your first lead became your first
literally
deal.
within 2 hours. Within 2 hours. I mean, it was insane. It literally was. I was like, I was expecting to maybe have a couple leads start trickling in the next week, but it was within 2 hours of like you send me that message. I was like, this is crazy.
Man, I think you're the first client in Hesel Media that has closed his first lead and in a contract and made a deal. That's impressive, bro. That's impressive.
Yeah,
Well done
thanks,
on
man.
that. Wow.
Yeah, I was telling my parents about it. They're like, you need to make sure to tell them. That's pretty crazy. It's the first one. I was like, it was the first one I got in. You're right. And they're like, you should
Wow.
tell them. I was like, okay.
Wow, man. So just to run back to the numbers. So she wanted a 4K, a 400 for the
Yeah.
house, and then you guys were able to settle something for 305,
Yep.
right?
So,
And then you
so like I said, the two key takeaways for me was that I price
Mhm.
anchored her after she said 400, and I showed her
Okay.
the tax assessment. I showed her a lot in the area that was 250, and then the
Hmm.
other thing was getting the pre-commitments and like reiterating when I give you this offer, so they don't disappear. Like you can tell me yes or
Yeah.
no, and then she said yeah, and so she wanted 400, and I locked it up at 305, and then I
Hmm.
sold it for 335
Oh wow.
minus the commission, the 3%, which was like 10 grand, 10 grand
Hmm.
500, and then I split some closing costs, which were roughly like $1,500 for me. So like I said, I
Hmm.
walked away with just a little over 18 grand, like 18,134 or something.
Nice, nice, man. So it was worth taking the loan, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, like 100%. I knew I was taking a bet on myself, and I knew that it was a pretty good, pretty safe bet to bet on myself and to bet on you guys, because I believe that I knew that you guys were going to bring good leads, and I knew that I could close them, and I knew that it was worth rolling the dice to give it a shot, 100%.
100%. And I know that you mentioned about the automations that we have and stuff like that. But what's your one favorite thing that you love about Hustle Media and and how we do things?
I mean, I the way that absolutely the way that the systems are set up, the organization, the systemization of everything. Like obviously, I love that. I love the automation that the messages are being sent.
Hmm.
And like it was awesome because it'll be like so and so's responded, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know messages were getting sent. And then they'll like they literally like are asking like what's your motivation, and I get a whole little breakdown of like everything about why they're selling, where they want to go, and it makes
Hmm.
it really like easy for me to underwrite and prepare for conversations or appointments. But that's not my favorite thing. My favorite thing is honestly the fact that you guys do training. I just love that because like it's like I love that you guys care so much about not only bringing good leads, but you want us to be successful. So the fact that you have training shows where your heart is, and to me that was the difference maker. Was I mean I like I said I'm experienced, so I already kind of know what I'm doing. But every
Mhm.
time I listen to a training, it helps keep me sharper. It helps me better. And there's always a nugget I can take away from it. But the fact, like, so I'm not like new, like, oh, I need the training. But the
Yeah,
fact
yeah,
that you have the training it was a huge indicator to me that you guys are the right kind of people.
gotcha. So just to be clear, are you talking about the training that is available in the membership, or are you talking about the training that we have every Wednesday, the sales
Yeah,
training
yeah,
that we have every
both, both.
both?
The fact
Okay.
that you have, you know, introductory training videos and stuff that you can
Mhm.
watch to help you get a foundation and to, you know, like I said, literally every time I watch one, and I like to think that I'm, you know, pretty decent at this and, you know, pretty
Yep.
experienced, but literally every time I watch it, there's a good takeaway, even from the introductory videos to, like I said, or the regular Wednesday training. And it's all, especially the Wednesday training, I like because you can talk about stuff. People
Yeah.
can bring stuff up and you can have a real dialogue, and it's not just like, hey, here's how to do this, here's how to do that. Okay. But like I could say, hey man, there's this one time when this happened. What could I have done differently? And we can
Yeah.
all
Yeah. Yeah.
discuss it, and we can all feed off of each other's like experience and successes or failures.
Yeah, I love that. I know that you mentioned about the following up because we are very big on following up, especially when the lead comes in. And then just tell us like when did you follow up with the lead when the first lead came in? How did you follow up? How's your sales process? Just giving us an idea how things went down.
I mean, literally, like I said, you sent the message at like 2 p.m. 4 p.m. the thing came in, and it like I said, it had the whole breakdown. Like she set
Mhm,
up an appointment for Tuesday at this time, whatever. And like I said,
mhm,
there was a part of me that was like, man, she's already got an appointment set up, and I'm kind of rusty. Like maybe I'll just wait. But
yep,
I remember talking with you. I remember watching the videos, and it's all about like speed to lead. Like, and I was
yep.
like, man, this is the first one coming in. Like, I gotta give it. I gotta start strong. I gotta go hard. So I literally
Love
called
it,
her within the first minute or two, and
man.
like I said, when she answered, she was like, yeah. And I said, hey, I know you guys set an appointment, but I just wanted to like go ahead and reach out and confirm that. And she was like, yeah, I wasn't even sure what the appointment was anyway. I wasn't sure if it was a call or if you were going to be showing up. And I said, well,
Mhm,
perfect. How about we have the call now if you got a few minutes? And then, you know, if it still is like a good fit, then we'll keep that as the appointment time for me to come by. She's like, yeah, that sounds great. And
100%.
then that's how it went.
I love that, man, because the thing is, that's what sets you apart versus you versus other investors is like what you said, speed to lead, right? The moment that
Absolutely.
you do that, it sets you apart, man. And that's something that we hit hard at Hesel Media, especially following up, man. Follow up like a beast, just like we
Oh
mentioned on
yeah.
our onboarding. First, I follow up with the first 2 to 5 minutes. So that's I'm happy to hear that. And that deal and your first lead became your first deal. That's amazing, man. So tell me,
Hallelujah.
man.
Praise to the man on high. That's all I gotta say.
I love it, man. I love it. So let's say now someone is on the fence on joining or becoming with client with Hesel Media. What would you say to that person?
I mean, obviously, I have to know a little bit more about why they're on the fence, but you know what I mean. It's just like motivated sellers. I got to know what's going on with them. I got to
Yeah,
understand the
yeah.
situation. But in my case, and that's what I can speak to is like how I was.
Hmm.
The only thing that was holding me back was because after talking with you guys, I knew that y'all were the real deal. I knew that you meant what you said and you were going to follow through and you were going to bring me quality leads. I could tell by the way that you approached it that you were going to be a good company, a good partner for me with in my journey.
Okay.
So to me it was just how do I figure out how to get the money to do this,
Hmm.
because I know this company is going to bring me leads and I know that when they bring me leads I'm going to close them. So if it's somebody who's new to the game maybe
Yeah.
and they're like unsure, like, oh, is it worth the risk to pay the money if they do have the money or don't have the money,
Hmm.
I would say that especially because there's a training, you can get trained. You can go on the Wednesday trainings. You can ask questions. You
Yes,
can
sir.
I'll be on there. You can ask me. I'll help you out. And there's the Facebook page, and there's a lot of support. But I can tell you this right now, even if you're an experienced investor as well, the leads are quality. And I mean, literally, I closed the first one that came in.
Yeah, man.
I
That's
know that's like an anomaly, and it's always a numbers game, and there might be 30 more before I close another one, but
yep.
one came in and I closed it, and that means that the leads are good. So I would say to anybody on the fence, just if you're ready to get into the real estate game and you're ready to do it the right way and have quality leads with a good company that's going to not only provide quality leads but training and support to help you turn those leads into deals, this is the place to go. Time to say yes.
I love it, man. I love it. And then you've been so good in terms of following up, using the CRM properly, because I've been checking all of that. And
Trying.
you know, no, definitely you're doing your part, right? And it's easy for me to do my part as well. You know, hold you accountable, because just like I said, I'm your accountability partner as well. So man,
That's right.
you made it. I look forward to see what you're gonna do with the rest of the leads that we have sent you.
Heck
So
yeah.
so yeah, man.
I ain't in this not to win, baby. Let's go.
Let's go, man. And also I like your attitude as well, man. Like I remember at the beginning, you know, things were slow, but you know, you understood what's gonna happen, and then you were very patient, and then boom, look at this now, and then you are at a peak of the mountain, man. So
Woo!
congratulations on
Keep
the
going.
deal.
Next time for the next mountain. Let's go.
Exactly. Exactly, bro. So I think that's it on my side, man. Anything else that you want to say to the rest of the Hesel Media team, or anyone else who will be watching this?
I don't know. I just appreciate, like I said, the support. I appreciate obviously the work that you guys have put in to
Mhm.
set up and create the systems that are able to create these leads. I mean, my initial like fear or thing that was holding me back in the very beginning when I stepped away from a company that was, pretty established to be on my own was,
Yep,
how am I going to do? I know that I can get in houses with people and I can turn that into a deal, but how do I do the
100%,
rest of it? How do I set
100%.
up marketing? How do I set up all this stuff? How do I deal with social media? I don't even get on social media. I don't use Instagram. I don't use Facebook. Like, I'm like, how am I supposed to use a platform to get leads that I don't even use?
That's it.
And finding a company that, like you guys, to take it and run with it, like that was what I needed from the very beginning. So I just want to thank you guys for putting all the effort you have into creating such a wonderful system that has been so beneficial already, obviously, to me, and being able to take that load off of me so I can stick to what I'm good at, which is talking to people on the phone and getting in front of them and closing deals.
Nice. I love it, man. Well, Andrew, thank you, brother, for your time, and thank you for sharing your story, sharing your success, and sharing your what you're doing. You're totally crushing it, man. I look forward to working with you to crush more deals going forward. Okay, but
Sounds good,
yeah,
man. I appreciate it.
all righty, man. Thanks so much for jumping in, and then definitely we'll catch up. Okay.
All right. Yeah, dude. Sounds good.
All righty. Take care, my man. Bye bye.
See ya.